You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
You are not in Kansas anymore. You are on Pandora, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, everybody, to the first and only Avatar-specific episode of Moviesucktastic.
That's right. That's right. We just got back from seeing it, and we didn't give up the glasses like they suggest. You know what? If I'm paying $12 for the movie, I'm not giving you my fucking glasses.
They call
just
it,
not doing it.
They call it go green and recycle your glasses. What they mean is give them so we can sell them again.
Yeah, sterilize them, put them back in plastic.
Sterilize them. Sterilize them.
That's the the trick, that they sterilize them and then they put them in fresh new plastic, and then it makes it look like it's oh, these are brand new. These are right out of the manufacturer.
We didn't fall for it.
No.
I'm going to need real glasses in about 2 hours, though, so we have to finish this quick.
The key to that was that we actually paid money to see this because of the lovely traffic on the entire ride to the theater. We had no time to get into a potential fight to fight for our free passes.
We still have free passes from the Saw premiere, which had 5 minutes of no sound.
Right.
Because the film slipped out of the gate.
Right. So we got there.
Or as they said, there was an outage.
Yeah, we pretty much got there as the movie, or the trailers, I should say. The movie started at 1. We got there at 1. So instead of jumping through hoops to get our passes,
we just paid.
We just paid. So,
but this isn't about you and me.
No.
It's different. This is about Avatar.
This is correct.
We've been dying to see this because there's been all indication that this was going to be the sucktastic mega bomb that
$400 million, which they've now admitted to. They've been denying it the whole time.
Well, it keeps jumping up and down from $200 million. The funny thing is, I read a trivia thing online where it said that 10 years ago he didn't make it because the estimated cost of the special effects at that time would have been $400 million. Thankfully, he waited.
Yeah. You know what? After seeing it, there was not one good reason why I thought this movie should have been in 3D. There was just nothing that just jumped out at me to say, you know what?
Well,
this needed to be in 3D.
It's all pretty and all. I mean,
it was now, as far as the visuals go, absolutely gorgeous.
Now, this is my first time seeing this 3D. I went to IMAX way back when it first came out, but this is my first time using the Real D 3D imaging, and I got to say, it's great. It's probably as close as they'll ever get the perfect 3D.
Yes.
Short of just plugging yourself in the back of the head, which is due out in 2016, by the way.
Sweet. All right, the economy should just be coming right about.
Just about time.
Yeah.
I'm saving up. That's my retirement.
Oh, nice.
Just plug in and lock in a closet.
I'm
taking the red pill, or is it the blue one?
I don't remember.
Just take both. See what happens. So we just came back from viewing Avatar. I knew neither one of us were going to get more than 10 minutes into this wearing those glasses.
Yeah, you know what? It's hurting my eyes.
It's sitting through 2 hours and 40 minutes of that.
2 hours and 43 minutes of that.
You're right. So for anybody who's new to this planet,
right,
has been living under a rock for the past 3 years, Avatar is the story of a Civil War veteran who ends up being befriended by the Indians and actually fighting on their side against the South. What?
Actually, it's many hundreds of years. Oh, wait, I get where you're going.
Well, am I wrong?
No. The entire time we watched this movie...
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. This is about an old frontiersman and retired general who goes to Japan to help fight the samurais, but ends up being recruited into learning their ways and fighting against the American armies, right?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Was it about the Scotsman that leads a ragtag group of against the English armies?
No one said this was an original idea. That's the thing. Anything that I've read about it said it was part Last Samurai. It was part
that's what I'm thinking of.
Dances with Wolves. I've been reading that a lot. That if you combine Dances with Wolves and The Last Samurai, you'd get Avatar, but in the future with blue people.
What they really mean is if you use plot number 7 and add special effects, you get this movie.
You know, and one of the things that Cameron has been getting a lot of flack for is actually that the plot isn't original at all. It's $400 million unoriginal idea. And you've been working on it for the last 4 years, and it's 12 years since you made Titanic. Nobody cares.
Now,
at least I didn't care.
I will defend Cameron. When you're dumping this much money into the special effects, so let's just keep the plot as lean and simple as possible, and let's concentrate on the visuals.
Sure, I agree with that.
Now, this is what saved him, because they originally there was an embargo on reviews. He had a screening for a select number of real critics, and with the condition that they would not review the film until Monday. However, several of them liked the film and figured, well, he's not going to sue us for giving a positive review. And so they started leaking the positive reviews out. And then since they was getting the positive feedback from these early reviews, they jumped right on the bandwagon and ran with it. So that's what gave them the impetus to go through with that. Yeah, and, you know, what was it? I don't think it was more than maybe 3-4 months ago where we found out that the movie, 20th Century Fox said, no. This movie is actually costing in the range of $250 million. And then it was like a Time magazine article, and they said $300 million. And they came out and said, no, that was a misprint. It was a misprint because that happens all the time with Time magazine. They said it was going to be like $350 to $400, and they said, no, that's a misprint. And then all of a sudden, they get these good reviews that they weren't supposed to get early, but they did, and they said, guess what? It's actually around $380. I'm watching the news like yesterday morning and say this budget was $380 million and possibly even more, which means that the reporter didn't know what Prince and Advertising is, right? And she was just trying to explain $380 before Prince and Advertising, right? So it's a $400 million film. Now here's the question. Now the big question is, we'll start picking apart the film in a minute, I guess. But the big question is, what has to be on the minds of everybody, beyond existential philosophy, is was it worth $400 million? No. No. Okay. No, because don't get me. The visuals are amazing. They're beautiful, okay? It's probably one of the most visually entertaining films I've ever seen. But I just didn't care that it cost $400 million. Oh, you know, I mean... you know what? You could have made the visuals the same and probably have spent half the money. I will admit that was running through my head. It's like, well, yeah, it's so realistic and it's amazingly... Wow, the computer animation is great. And I was thinking to myself... As far as realistic goes, I didn't think it looked realistic at all. I just think it looked beautiful. Well, I mean... I think it looked like this... It's the smoothest, most naturally flowing animation we've seen in a long time. Yes. It's definitely... And again, they paid for that extra. Well, yeah, they paid $400 million so they could have that. I would have gladly... There probably isn't one live shot in the movie. It's 40% live, 60% CGI. That's the actual percentage, yes. I looked that up. So it's actually... The only thing I'm looking up. So it actually has more live shots than any of the 3 new George Lucas Star Wars films that he did. Well, it probably has more live locations. Well, I'm talking about, I think the statistic for all 3 of the episodes 1, 2, and 3, they said something like 95% of it was green screen. Well, green screen, but it's still live actors. I'm saying 45. It's 40% live acting and 60% CGI environment. That's not what I meant. I meant how much of it was actually shot, real. Something that's not CGI. Originally, they were going to film... Sets are fine. I'm talking about like the indigenous forest and that's all CGI. Originally, they were going to film on location on the island of Pandora, but the exchange rate was too great, and it would have cost them like $800 million. And then they just couldn't get to those floating mountains, so they just decided to CGI. No, we'll talk about the floating mountains in a moment, sir. Don't worry. Yeah, no, we're going to cover the floating mountains. Before we go any further, the predictions on this film. You had some box office predictions. Personally, $400 million movie, James Cameron and company, they're really looking for a big weekend. I mean, in order for them, or if I was a producer for the movie, in order for me to walk away... You wouldn't be sitting here now. Well, no, I wouldn't. But in order for me to walk away happy, I would absolutely not take anything less, considering it's a 3-hour movie, too. So, Just give me a number.
I would take nothing less than 75, 80 million to be happy. But what I think it'll do is somewhere in the 50 million range.
Okay.
50, maybe 60, but I think it's going to be in the 50s range, and I don't think that's good enough.
Now, I disagree with you a little bit. I think that they've done so much gearing and advertising to children, and it's a PG-13, and they're trying to get the kids in, that they might actually do between 50 and 75. That's my guess. Somewhere
you're
a little higher.
You're only guessing about 15 million higher than
a little higher than you. Now, I'm being a little more optimistic.
The problem is, I think, because it is PG-13, you're not going to get a lot of parents taking younger kids to this. I think they're going to jump at, the new Alvin and the Chipmunks Squeakquel.
Was that this weekend?
No, it's next week. But I think they'll
Princess and the
Princess and the Frog.
Frog should get top billing.
Sure.
I think.
No, I think so. They're going to go for that instead. There's a lot of other younger family-oriented films that they can go to.
Which, by the way, a tip of my hat to Disney for not only bringing back the classic animation.
I think the same thing.
But also taking the whole Frog and the Princess story and putting it in New Orleans.
Yes. No.
Does the whole thing end with a flood? Probably not.
I don't think
probably
so.
not. But there is jazz music. I saw the trailer. There is jazz music.
Yes, there is.
Yes,
there is. When I saw that it was like regular animation again, I was flabbergasted because Disney swore that they were never going to do it again. But I knew that they were just waiting long periods of time so that when they did it again, even though it's not original anymore because CGI is the new animation, people will go, wow.
And they heard about Avatar coming out and said, well, we have to go old school again. Yeah. So, Avatar, of course, is the story of a crippled Marine soldier who's taken to this foreign planet to drive these alien creature avatars.
Well, because his brother died. His brother's a scientist who dies, but he's a twin. So,
which is the exact same plot of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
Double Impact. Double Impact. First thing I thought when they said, like, your brother is dead, and they like, they ripped off Double Impact. Is John Woo somewhere? No, Chewie Hark. That was Chewie Hark's American debut.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
But his brother dies. So because his brother had his own avatar,
they're telling him your brother was valuable to us. Meanwhile, they got him in a cardboard box burning his corpse. He was a very valuable member of our team, so we can't bury him.
No,
I understand the metaphor, and of course, don't forget the whole opening of the film.
Right.
By the way, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Sure.
Huge. This whole thing's a spoiler alert because, for the most part, I guess we won't give away the very ending, but this is one of those films where after the first 5 minutes, you know the whole story. You know how it's going to end. You're just watching the special effects.
Oh yeah, no, it's a very predictable film.
We're going to give away some stuff here, and it ain't we're not telling you who Kaiser Sose is.
Right.
It's so blatant. If you're actually watching this film and enjoying it, you're probably too young to care about the ending. So don't worry about it.
Yep.
But anyway, the opening is the shot. I had a dream once. I was flying.
Yeah.
And then we go into my brother's dead. I'm just a dumb grunt, and now
he's the scientist. I'm the grunt. But we need you because you're his twin, and you could actually take over his avatar because you have everything that your brother has.
So they go to this planet with these aliens, and there's a corporate mogul there who wants to sacrifice human lives in order to profit off of the planet. Is this Aliens?
Giovanni Ribisi's character was probably the best Paul Reiser impersonation I've seen in a James Cameron film in a long time.
This is not my locker. I mean, they couldn't get Paul Reiser. What? They couldn't.
Yeah, he's busy.
Yeah.
No, he's not busy. I hate to say it. Paul, if you're watching, you weren't busy.
And he, of course, plays the corporate goon who's this whole operation is his doing. They're trying to get the locals out of the area that they live in because of mineral rights. I can't even think of a story that would have any comparison to.
And unobtainium is the name of when they first said it. Scott leans over to me and he goes, "Did they just say unobtainium?" I said, "You know what? I don't know. It might have been obtainium or
I distinctly heard unobtainium,
like optanium." But then they say it again.
It's unobtainium.
It's unobtainium.
Right. James, you had 10 years.
12.
You developed
12.
Well, let's give him 2 years for
No.
for editing and stuff. You had time to develop the script. You created a whole new language for the aliens.
Yeah.
You gave weird names to all the creatures. How long was the board meeting where you said, let's name him a mineral? Was something like rarite? Was that on the list? Impossible to findite? Hard to getium?
Hard to get him. I like that.
Unobtainium?
Unobtainium.
And I got...
I mean, unless, we're just listening to what we wanted to hear, and it's actually not unobtainium.
It's unobtainium,
well, we're
damn
pretty damn sure it's unobtainium.
He said unobtainium.
So...
I'll find it someday. I'm not looking it up right now. I don't care that much. But even if it is not spelled that way, they said unobtainium.
Yeah, no, it just rolls off the tongue.
Now, I'll be fair.
That way.
Now, I'll be fair. As far as like all the weird naming in the film, that's the only one that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Which makes it that much harder to take because again, they all these different names. And speaking of names, though, by the way, the Marine Jake Sully.
Yes.
So when he meets the what are they called? Nefertiti.
Navi.
Navi, when he meets the Navi for the first time,
Yeah.
and they ask him his name, he says, "My name's Jake." What are you? He's
Right.
like Jake Sully. So from now on, his name is Jake Sully. That joke doesn't ever get old, does it?
Nah,
I can't think of how many films, or even going back to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Arthur Dent. It's just, it's the oldest joke ever.
Yeah.
And they don't even play it like a joke. That's even the worst part, because they call him Jake Sully from now on, but there's not even a laugh point for that. It's just like, okay, we're going to call you Jake Sully. And when someone asks you who you are, don't you always give them your full name? You don't say Joe Scott.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
not the full name.
No. Hi, my name's Joe.
That irritated me.
Yeah, but you can't rip on things like that.
No, you
too
can.
much.
I really can.
No, I know you can.
Now,
but-
and I know what you're saying. And here's the deal: I have to agree with the critics on this, because the initial critic review, they were positive reviews. That's why they liked it. That's why they let it go.
Right.
But the positive reviews weren't. This is great. This is amazing. The reviews basically said it's not half as bad as we thought it'd be.
Right.
We were expecting a stinker. This wasn't bad. I mean,
No, you know what?
now for $400 million, this wasn't bad. For me, that doesn't cut it.
No, it doesn't. No, I agree. And even though I walked away from the film not hating it, I didn't walk away from the film thinking to myself, wow, this was worth $400 million. This was amazing. It's going to change cinema. Like, those are all the things that they've been saying about this movie, that it's going to change cinema. Well, you know what? Maybe the 3D will. Maybe it'll force other companies to do better 3D. But as far as, like, plot goes, no. Not an original plot. As far as acting goes, yeah, acting was actually not bad. It's not going to change anything.
There was some good acting. I tell you, my favorite actor in this whole film,
Oh, the Colonel.
the Colonel.
Yeah.
It was Colonel Miles Quaritch. Quaritch.
He was awesome.
Man, that was played by Stephen Lang, who his entire film career has played nothing but cops, soldiers, firefighters, or coaches. And you could see why in this film. He just kicked ass.
He just bleeds ass kicking.
Oh, man, the scars in his face. And every time he walks in the room,
the one great line he had in the film was, he goes...
One great line. Every line he had was great.
I said one of the great... Oh, okay. One of the great lines he had in the film was, see these scars? Yeah, I can get that fixed. But I don't want to.
I kind of like them.
It reminds me of what's out there. And it's like, wow, that's a badass.
Well, they wrote him like the drill sergeant with less profanity because it's PG-13 film.
Yeah.
But they write him like the drill sergeant from
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And every time he's in a you don't respect this jungle, it'll crap you out in 2 hours. My job is to keep you men alive.
I will not succeed.
I will not succeed. It's just every time. And here's a problem I have with the film, and just in general, because sometimes you watch a film and it's so cookie cutter that you want something changed. In this film, they go a bit too far to try to make the character Jake Sully, because he doesn't want to be there. He's only there because they offered him all this. They offered to fix his legs, and his brother died, and he's a genetic match for the avatars, which is a dumb idea in the first place.
Yeah.
The rationale for them building these giant avatar creatures is ridiculous. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's
corporate would never go that far to negotiate with the natives.
It was just so they can go in to negotiate with the Navi.
So they get this guy who doesn't know anything about them, and he goes in and he falls for their culture, and he becomes part of their culture, and he describes to it, and he eventually becomes one of them, and then helps them fight against the evil Americans. Yeah. Sky people.
Sky people.
They didn't want to come out and say evil humans, so they call them sky people, but it's evil humans. And I agree with that. I'm not arguing that.
No, that's what we've been doing for
But
hundreds of years.
There's that one part that said, they killed their planet. There was no green on their planet. They killed it. Now they come to kill our planet. And I had no problem with that. I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, sure.
This is a accurate portrayal of the future.
Yeah.
I hope they're showing this at Copenhagen.
Yeah.
But he's such a character. He's like he's the character is created to fall for these people. He doesn't have a home. He has no identity to himself, and he connects with these people. Now, just imagine if Quaritch was the guy who fell for them. Think of like Soldier with the Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah.
Can't you just see it like that guy, the hardest guy of all, and he turns like, you know what? This is a raw deal for anybody. I would love to see him go into the biggest battle of his own guys.
Yeah, you know what? I think
instead of Lucy Liu, not Lucy Liu, damn it, from Lost. What's her name? Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah.
What's her name in Lost? It's Lucy something, isn't it?
It's Anna Lucia.
Anna Lucia. Thank you. Does this chick star in any films that she doesn't, like die in?
No.
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 Man.
I think
it's in her contract. We have to kill you.
Girl Fight, the boxing movie that she did.
I think that was that Girl Fight.
I think it was called Girl Fight.
Did you see Girl Fight?
No,
I didn't either.
But I think she doesn't die.
You know what? We weren't the demographic for Girl Fight.
No, we weren't. But I don't think she dies in it. I think she makes it through that one.
But I mean, for me, it would have been a more compelling film to have Quaritch, this like hard ass guy.
Well, I'll tell you what,
who's been like fighting them for years, finally turn around and go, you know what? I'm with you guys. It would have had more of a punch to it instead of this sap who's like, well, I don't belong anywhere anyway, and all of a sudden I belong with you. The plot's so simple, it's too easy of a sell.
Yeah. I think now that he's in this movie, you're going to start to see him pop up in a lot more places.
I better see. Oh, and speaking of him, speaking of like the cool things, now there are some cool things in this film.
No, it's not all bad.
No.
It's not. I wouldn't even say it's a bad movie. It does have its moments of brilliance.
This would have made the finger list for me beforehand, and watching it now, I have to take it back. It wasn't that bad.
No.
I don't think it's worth $400 million.
And it certainly isn't worth a $12 movie ticket.
$12.50.
$12 movie ticket.
$12.50.
It's $12.50.
It was $25 for both tickets. We got the glasses.
So it was extra money because of it.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Wasn't it worth it?
No.
Thank you.
I thought it was $11.50 or $11.75, like
Yeah.
when we saw Saw 6.
It was. They charged more because of the glasses. No. Back when we saw Saw, it was like 11 something.
No, that's what I'm getting at.
Right. As I'm saying, that was, and this was more.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, definitely. But, I mean, there were some cool parts that even I liked. And one thing is they have those big, you saw them, they're again, it's almost like we're watching Aliens again. The big, it
It
right
had
out of
Marines,
Aliens.
it had Sigourney Weaver, it had...
what's his name from, I forget which guy, one of the guys from Aliens was up for the role of Quaritch.
Oh, really?
And they eventually turned it down because...
Was it Michael Biehn?
I don't recall. But they eventually they scrapped it and it's like, you know what? They'll think it's Aliens again. Like, it's bad enough we have Sigourney Weaver in this, and it's like a military thing, so they had to scrap that.
Plus, they had the mech stuff in there.
Right, and they couldn't get Paul Reiser
I mean,
for
obviously,
obvious
James
Paul
Cameron
Reiser's
has a thing for... He's free. He's available.
Yeah, he's available.
I mean, they still haven't come out with all of Mad About You on DVD box sets. They're having a hard time with it because no one buys them, so they didn't bother. I think they stopped after season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, Paul Reiser.
Not mad about the DVDs.
Paul Reiser is available.
But they got the mech suits and the machine guns, and again, they're carrying machine guns with them. But I don't know why they're not built into the arms. That's stupid. But at the end, there's a fight with the Quaritch in the mech suit and Jake Sully in his avatar, and
just out of nowhere, he
pulls out
a Bowie knife,
combat knife, and just the thought that these soldiers were all right. They actually went through the trouble of putting a combat knife on the leg of a giant robot. I thought that was cool. Because the
knife is probably... It was gigantic.
Yeah,
but
when the robot comes up with a combat knife, I was like, holy crap. This is that's cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. Totally.
I think it's like one of the few old cool parts I had. Again, any part I really enjoyed had Quaritch in it.
Yeah.
Like the part where he gets caught in the explosion, and his arm's on fire.
Yeah.
And then while he's strapping himself in, he's like, oh, I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
Let me get that out.
Well, the next shot when he got in the mech suit was, the shoulder was on fire in the same spot he was on fire when he was getting into the mech suit.
He should have been fighting his own troops. He should have been out. And just wouldn't have been so much. Again, it's like that line from I hate. I know I keep going back to it, but I love Soldier with Kurt Russell in it.
Oh yeah,
very underrated.
It's a very underrated film.
But like he speaks hardly any words in the whole film. At the end, when he's trying to protect these people,
Yep.
like, what are you going to do? I'm going to kill them all. Just matter.
They use that in the trailer too, and that was the reason why you wanted to see it.
And it doesn't ruin it, because I was like, yeah, one of the few times where like they ruined something in the film, but thank God they did.
Yeah, I remember seeing that with Bujna in the theater, and we just both looked at each other.
But I would have.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I would have loved to have seen Quaritch and that kind of thing. It was like we are in communing with Mother Nature, and or Kenya, whatever the hell the name of the. Enya, they worshipped Enya. What was the name of the spirit?
It was like I forget what it was.
Enzyme.
Enzite.
I would have loved to see it because the other guy, he becomes an avatar. I have one of you. I would have the Colonel. There's like that kind of abrasive thing. It was like, yeah, you guys can use the bows and arrows all you want, but we're gonna die if we don't do something. Just
right. No.
Please rewrite I think they should remake Avatar, and Quaritch should be in it.
He should be.
And also, what's his name was in this? The guy from Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, the Indian scientist in this movie, and he was the fortune teller.
Dilip Rao?
Yeah, that's it.
Dr. Max Patel, yeah. Because all I can think of is Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
There's a way we can kill the demon. We have to get into the Avatar. I like him, though. I like him.
No, I do. I like him, too.
He was like the best part of... He's the only likable character in Drag Me to Hell.
And then they had What's-His-Face, who was in that really terrible movie Grandma's Boy, where he thought he was a robot. If he was in an awkward scene, he would just go...
And let's not forget the guy from Bones.
That's the guy.
Oh, that's the same guy?
It's that.
Okay.
He's in there. I don't remember his name exactly. But I think Bones is actually a pretty good show. But about 2 weeks ago, they had an episode of Bones that was a 60-40... 60% TV show, 40%
commercial for Avatar
about the three lab geeks that just absolutely have to go see Avatar.
I think
what killed it...
The title of that episode, if I'm not mistaken, was Whoring for Cameron. You can see it on Hulu. The episode is on Hulu.
Yes, it is. The thing that, it wasn't even that it was a commercial too, but the thing that really put me over the top was the fact that the guy from the movie Avatar is in Bones whoring for Avatar. And because he's the one that got the free passes to go see it, that they then in the episode waited, 3-4 days online for? Mm-hmm. And people were camping out, and people dressed as Na'vi blue people.
Lines around the blocks, people camping out for weeks to get tickets to see Avatar because it's going to be such a huge hit. And then, of course, it's 2 weeks before the film. People, you better get your tickets now because everybody's going to go be seeing this.
No, exactly.
And they're showing clips of the trailer in the show. Have you seen the trailer?
Have you seen the trailer? Or actually, the way it was, it faded into the show, showing the trailer, going, right. Wow, did you see the trailer? It's it's on, it's right here. So you at home can watch the trailer too.
And this is amazing.
We're not going to show it 5 times during Bones as well.
It isn't just the wonderful special effects. I mean, this is the script. This is the dialogue for this. People complain about 24 being propaganda for the Republicans or whatever, and then you got this whole episode's a basic shill for 20th Century Fox.
Well, one, because Bones is on Fox.
Well, yeah, that's what
I'm saying. And then 20th Century Fox made Avatar, so it's like, you know what? We own everything.
They're shilling for it. But, and I mean, the merchandise has been crazy, too. I saw a commercial yesterday for the new flip camera, that LG camera that has a projector on it. And it's like, do you see the new trailer to Avatar? Let me show you the trailer to Avatar on my new phone. It's like, wow, is that a new phone? Yes, and that's the trailer to Avatar. Yeah. I mean, the merchandising
just want to let you know, this needs to be a hit. So we're going to throw it in everything.
Did we mention Avatar's great? Yeah. And the merchandising is ridiculous. I mean, and only like an idiot, complete fool, fall for any of this merchandising and get stuff like that.
Really?
It's disgusting.
So, oh boy.
McDonald's has been doing the Avatar thing too.
Oh boy.
I got my burger. They got the toys. Have you seen these?
Oh no.
Yeah,
I haven't.
You have to get the Happy Meals.
And what is?
See, I don't have a kid, so I have to bribe 5-year-olds to go in and get my Happy Meals for me.
This is one of these toys.
This is the thing he wrote. This is
the thing that he wrote that only 5 other Na'vi have ever ridden before, ever in the history of their.
I'll turn it on for you.
It turns on.
They light up, dude. These are state of the art Happy Meal toys. This is like back when Lord of the Rings came out, and you could get the mugs that glow from the bottom. I know you still have yours.
I do. Oh boy.
That is pure Happy Meal fun right there. And you can turn them off too. Now, that reminds me of one of the major lessons you can learn. Stop playing with a toy. One of the major lessons you can learn from the film.
I'm just amazed.
What I took away.
Oh, and by the way, this was completely predictable too. They set this up that he would eventually ride this
everything's
thing,
set up so far in advance.
really early in the movie.
Yeah, everything's so far in advance.
I think the first hour.
I learned an important lesson from this film. The lesson is not really respect your environment and become one with nature, because without nature you are lost. And it's not about good versus evil. The main message I got was, after your first date, burning down your girlfriend's home and killing her father is really bad. But if you come back on a really hot ride, all's forgiven.
Yeah, they'll totally.
Because when he got their house destroyed and got everybody homeless and killed her father, she was not happy.
No, she was a little pissed off.
And also, all aliens,
as she should be.
All alien animals have 6 legs.
Yeah, I mean, personally, when I saw that it had that many legs, I was just saying to myself, how do the legs in the middle help at all?
Well, it looks cool.
I mean, because they're not longer, so when these two come down, these are already down. Well, it's kind of like the back legs are already down, and then the front legs when they're up. So it's like when it runs.
See, no, you're
just these legs in the middle don't get used,
right? You're overthinking it, dude. It looks cool.
That's not good enough.
It is for them. What about the lizards, the dizzy lizards?
The ones that just spin out of control,
right? Because any creature is naturally going to evolve into a form where if it flies for safety, it's going to be dizzy for half an hour afterwards. That
was just ridiculous. There was a lot of things that
it looked cool.
It looked pretty.
This movie is all about the visuals.
It's all about owning the Blu-ray in 3 months,
or seeing it in 3D, just because depth. Oh, there's a depth perception here. Oh, the tree's close to this. There's hardly any stuff coming at the camera.
And that was another thing.
I have to question McDonald's on this. You can see on the little Navi action figures. I have what's her name here, Neytiri, Neytiri. I forgot how they pronounced it, but you can see the batteries in her stomach because they make them see through. Because the characters in the film aren't see through, but for some reason the character toys are.
It's probably cheaper because they're hollow.
Well, they're not hollow; it's just a see-through material. But my point is, somewhere during the whole creation of these toys, they realized that making a clear figure would make the batteries visible in their midsection,
right? And
they still greenlit it.
Yeah,
but you can see the batteries in her stomach. Run with it. Who cares? Now
that has batteries, so what is it?
She lights up too.
She lights up.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Because they glow in the film.
That's why they're clear.
The whole film,
That's why they're clear, because...
So you can glow, right.
Right, so it can glow better.
50% of the film is a blacklight scene.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, definitely.
But I wasn't getting these Happy Meals on Sunday or Monday, so I don't have all the toys. But I have these 4.
Does this gag ever get old?
Stop that. Now, I feel kind of guilty because I spent most of the film looking at the CGI breasts.
Yeah, trying to get a glimpse of nipple.
Because the nipples are there. That's the thing. They got a PG. But they all wear like these ceremonial things over their bodies. So, but since the CGI, they can manipulate reality, so they don't move, and the breasts don't bounce.
No,
they don't bounce.
They're all A cups in this movie.
And there's nipples, but the nipples are like permanently behind something. Mm-hmm. So there's always the promise of a nipple. Not that that's the main reason I see films, at least not these, but. There's always a promise of nipple. You're breaking my toys.
I'm sorry. This guy doesn't know how to ride shit.
Well, that's Neytiri, by the way. So
this is the girl?
That's the girl. You see the boobies.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Right there.
Navy boobs.
Yes. I got a hamburger in my Happy Meal, too.
Oh. How come she doesn't connect to the
Because she's not supposed to ride the horse. It's a separate toy.
Oh, she's not?
Get her off the horse.
Well, they ride the horse in the movie. Why wouldn't she ride the horse here?
Well, if they were supposed to ride things, then this would be scale, and this isn't. Well, this is like 5 times smaller.
Are you sure? I just got it. It looks good.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be that way. You just forced it into that position.
Well, you know what? It's a toy. Look what you're doing.
You're distracting me.
Stop playing with the toys.
I'm not playing with the toys. You're the one. You're the one mounting the horse.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Isn't that what they expect us to do? They expect us to jerk off to this shit for God knows how long.
Hey! It's a PG-13 movie.
Well, it's not a PG-13 podcast.
Oh, it should be, but I guess we're not
It's
now.
not.
No, I guess not. One of the major things too was it kept reminding us of other films watching the movie.
Yeah.
All I could think of during the scene where they're swooping down on the birds to attack the flying ships. Enough with the damn. Would you stop?
Just keep talking.
I can't talk because you're killing me here.
I'm trying to do something here.
Gimme. Anyway. But when they're flying into the airship and attacking, all the lasers are going. All I can think of is Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Flying blind on a rocket cycle.
Where are you, Flash? I'm flying blind on a rocket cycle. Flying blind on a rocket cycle?
Did I ever tell you that how many years later I finally got one of the jokes on it?
No, I don't think so.
When they're flying in on Flash Gordon, and one of the birds gets shot, Nero, I think it was,
right.
And Flash gets in and says, Nero, are you okay? And Nero says, he winged me. Never got it as a kid. Last year I got it. I'm watching it. I'm like, how did I miss that? It was a shameful moment.
Oh my God!
And again, aliens is constantly popping into your mind in this film.
Yeah, no, the whole way.
And
through.
you know what? The military leader, right, the guy that's hired. And oh, by the way, they make a big point of underlining the fact that these aren't soldiers. They are guns for hire. It's
right.
Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
It's Blackwater. It's not the U.S. military because at some point, for some reason, I guess like after 9/11 and after like 8 years of going to war and everything, it's kind of a bad idea to imply that our military would do something wrong,
right,
when ordered to. So these are freelancers, former Marines, not ex-Marines, because there's no such thing as an ex-Marine.
Nope.
Former Marines.
Well, my father-in-law says.
That's what they all say. Yeah. It's but they're guns for hire. They're mercenaries now. So when the head of the mercenaries, he's doing this shit. And of course, he makes a horrible, bloody, violent end.
Yeah.
But the corporate scumbag who greenlit the invasion and said, yes, kill them all, gets away scot-free.
That's Giovanni Ribisi's
right,
character.
that's Paul Reiser. Yeah, they send his ass home. They're like, well, you must leave now. Says, okay. How even in a fantasy film,
right,
where the whole, and again, by the way, we belong to a country that has done what this film is implying.
Oh, yeah.
We've done it before. And instead of actually trying to stop this from happening in other countries, what we do is we go to a film where this is the plot line and there's a happy outcome and we feel better about it, and then we go back to our stupid lives and don't do anything to try to stop these kind of atrocities in the real world. Yeah. But even in a feel-better movie like this, where we're trying to imply that there is justice in the world and good does occasionally triumph over evil, which of course is wrong, even though in a huge fantasy like this, even in a fantasy film where good triumphs over evil, even then the corporate guys get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, they got shoot out of the planet, but that was it. That was slap on a wrist.
He probably got a bonus after that as well.
You never know.
That's my political rage on that. I don't know how that gets through. Even in Aliens, Paul Reiser gets his head torn off by an alien.
Yeah, he gets totally killed.
Off screen, mind you.
Yeah.
But even then, even he sees justice. If not, the corporate heads back onto planet Earth.
You got to remember, this is a different James Cameron, so even
it's not though. This film is so preachy, it's not even funny. Mm-hmm. The film is beyond preachy. The film,
as far as
I will. And, another thing I did like though.
What?
As preachy as the film was, Sigourney Weaver smoking in every scene.
Yeah. when she first gets out of her pod, what's wrong with this picture? Where's my cigarette?
How come I'm not holding a cigarette?
Well, what was interesting is when she when the pod started to open, the girl that was there in the shot, you saw her run in the other direction as fast as she could. And I'm like, I wonder, why did she do that? Because she didn't have her cigarette.
Right. Because
then in the next shot, she says, what's wrong with this picture? Where's my cigarette? And then you see the same girl run back into the screen as fast as she could, giving her the cigarette.
I find it bizarre that a PG-13 film has smoking that prominent in the film,
yeah,
and by a good guy too, by a good character. She's a good person.
Well, there was that whole thing about how the MPAA wanted to give you a direct R if you smoked in a movie. You heard about that, right?
I rather, if you want to ban smoking, ban the real smoking, and then like the fake smoking.
Right.
Doesn't matter anymore.
No, it's a movie. Who cares?
Don't get me started on political stuff. But you can't avoid the political stuff. This is a very political film.
It is.
It's
very much
not.
so.
It's not pro-gay like Happy Feet was. I still don't understand that one. But there's a lot in here to piss off. I'm guarantee if you listen to Republican talk radio tomorrow are right-wing talk radio. Not all Republicans are right-wing. Not all right-wing is Republican. Yes, they are. But if you're listening to that kind of radio, if you're listening to Rush Limbaugh Monday Morning, Glenn Beck, I guarantee you they're going to be talking about Avatar, and they're going to talk about how this film portrays corporate capitalism as a bad thing, and how it implies that all humans, rape and pillage the earth, and how it's so pro-environment, and it is.
It's very much so.
And also how'd you feel about the whole aspect of the spiritualism?
I didn't mind it so much, only because it is a fantasy film.
But you didn't mind the fact that all the animals are plug and play?
Just about, everything in the film, they have, basically, it's a long-ass ponytail with these...
Tendrils.
Tendrils, and everything in there, in nature,
right.
Basically.
They can,
everything from...
They can hack into animals. So what was your feelings about the whole spiritualism aspect of the film?
With the whole animals being plug and play, so to speak.
Yeah, plug and play.
Well, you know what? Again, it was... I think Jake Sully's character actually mentioned something along the lines of, I hope this tree hugger shit doesn't keep going on because I don't think I can handle it. He actually says that in the movie.
I agree.
And, he has a change of heart, obviously, later on in the movie. But I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would have. I kind of like the idea of, you jump on one of these horse things and you kind of plug yourself in. And you are basically, you are one with it. You don't even have to talk to it. You just think it, and it does what you think. I don't know. I just don't think I didn't mind it so much.
I hated it because of that. Because the whole idea is they're trying to do that whole thing with like the Force. This is Star Wars all over again.
Yeah.
It's the Force, but they're trying to get Mother Nature involved in it too. So they're talking about how every living thing has a connection, but they dumb it down so much that the only way they can say every living thing has a connection is to actually show a physical connection by plugging in their ponytails to the animals' tendrils, and then they're able to.
It has like a ponytail as well,
so the animal can think. So you can guide the animal with your thoughts. It's taking the whole idea of we are all one,
right,
and making it literal, and then the whole idea of the planet and the roots of the planet and the tendrils and everything being one big. They can download and upload memories and thoughts. They basically said that God is the internet.
No, because Sigourney Weaver's character at one point actually said that they could upload and download, and she used those words.
Right.
And I'm just like you just said,
it's the internet.
It's the internet.
It's it. Spirituality in this film had been reduced to the internet.
Yeah, you know what? As a movie,
these aren't tendrils on their.
It's a fantasy film. I don't think I hated it.
They have USB ports.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Neuromancer Gibson did that already. We don't need that in this. If you're going to do spiritualism, try to at least stay spiritual. Don't turn it into a metaphor. For having a film where they're grasping the whole Mother Nature thing and Green Planet thing, but then equating spiritualism to downloading and uploading material, much like people will be downloading this film in the next 2 weeks, probably online. That bothered me.
Okay, I see where you're going with
You know what else bothered me?
What's that?
They live in a huge tree, like Keebler Elf kind of size tree.
Yeah.
Gigantic tree. This military comes in, Blackwater comes in, and knock the tree over, blow away the supports of the tree, the roots or whatever, and the tree falls, and not one person yells timber. I'm waiting for the sergeant. Timber. Nothing. Come on.
You think Cameron had a line? He was like, I can't. I'm not going to cross that line.
You fell a tree that big? Because when they come up, he even says, that's got to be the biggest tree I've ever seen.
That's one damn big tree.
Yeah, and then they fell the tree, and there's not even a timber or,
No.
It's all firewood now. No, that's it. That's the end of it.
Who's got the marshmallows?
Yeah. Not one Keebler Elf reference.
No.
That bothered me.
I'm sorry.
Well, it did. The robot, the mech robot with the combat knife almost makes up for it.
That was a great scene. When he pulls out the knife, he's holding it sideways, almost like attack style.
Yeah, and he flips it.
And then he flips it, and he's holding it the right way.
And that was a bit. The animation was a bit cheap on that because they went too quick with it.
They didn't. No,
yeah. It was like RoboCop 2 type animation on that one.
Yeah, you spent $400 million. Spend a few more minutes getting that right.
Yeah, but
as a whole, It wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't.
I would
It wasn't as bad as we expected it.
Right.
But does that make it a good film?
It just doesn't make it a bad movie.
I agree.
It just doesn't make it a bad film. I would almost even go so far as to say that I won't say that I won't have it in my collection.
I will.
You know, well, because of your parents, and only because of your parents. I would fair to say that I might even actually own it because, you know, God knows when I get people over and they see the TV or the popcorn hour that I have or anything like that. Oh wow, that's pretty. I'll probably pop that film out because visually, it'll show off every piece of equipment that I have.
And audio, when the tree falls.
Yeah.
That theater was.
All the channels were being represented.
That was like they every ounce of sound system they had was pumped into that tree falling.
Oh yeah,
I was impressed.
I mean, as far as the third act of the film goes,
fourth act. There's like 4 acts of this film.
Well,
it's got 2 endings. Well, not as bad. It's not as much as like the Batman. Dark Knight. It's not like the Dark Knight. It's not that bad, but it does feel like it has 2 endings again because you have the one climax after the other.
Right.
The second act is so long, is what it is.
It really is. But the whole war, and I say third act because I just
the third act is the war.
Act is the war.
The war is really the third act.
Yeah.
They rush into the third act.
I thought that was all done very well, and I thought it was very entertaining.
You know, it bothers me is the CGI zoom. They did it in Firefly a couple times, where like. They did
it in Star Trek too.
But it's a quick zoom, and like they even have like that like momentary focus, like the camera's still focusing.
Right. They've been doing it they've been doing that more and more lately.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it doesn't work, but you can definitely tell they're going to do it enough to the point of where you're just not going to care.
Right.
And it's going to take away from the movie a little bit.
Oh, and in the beginning, when the soldiers are coming off of that boat,
right?
3D shaky cam, no. No, don't do it.
Yeah, and it was worse because it was in 3D.
That's what I'm saying. Is a 3D shaky cam is bad enough. When you 3D shaky cam, it's like I get the idea. Please stop. We're in the guy's moving. We get it.
Yeah, no. And when he's coming out of the ship and they're like, move it, sunshine or whatever, and he's in a wheelchair, it just shows how badass the Marines are. That even if you're in a wheelchair,
watch where you're going, hot rod.
Yeah, it's like even if you're in a wheelchair, you're gonna get berated just like if you weren't in a wheelchair. It's like they mean business.
Who's Meals on Wheels?
It's just ay.
But I think I'd wrap it up and say, not as bad as it could have been. And if you really like special effects, you'll enjoy watching it. But
you're gonna love this. And
we didn't hate it. But
I definitely didn't hate it.
But I could have. I wouldn't have felt bad if I hadn't seen it. I didn't walk out of the theater like, oh, you see this and that. And I walked out of the theater like, yep, that was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And the sergeant really should have had his own movie.
Really. And
if you see it for anything, just see it for that guy.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Just see it for it, and just think to yourself, he should have been the hero.
He should have been the hero, and he should have just been in it more too.
Right. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
All right.
This is our Avatar exclusive Moviesucktastic review.
That's right.
We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to do a regular podcast shortly. We'll be announcing the winners of our free Monster Alley contest from Facebook.
That's right.
And a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a great episode because we're going to do the winner for the book. We're going to do the remakes list.
Right.
We are going to do our movie challenges. And we are also going to do the movies that, we've seen as well.
Right. And so from Joey and Scott of Moviesucktastic, just remember, I see you.
I see you.
And I see you. And you. And you. And you. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Happy El Malagueña.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Good night.
Take it easy.